and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you are being creepy again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet, onto the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun, meaning we'll do a lot of painting talk, as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, first-time viewers, be warned. Of course, if you are attending live, you can ask your questions in the chat, whichever area might be for you. And, of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris@wavethebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments. Don't send them off as links to other sites, just because it's annoying, and there's ads and, all the other gibbly-gook, right? So, please don't do it. But feel free to ask your questions. I welcome any and all questions. I know there are people from various levels of experience, people who are brand new to this hobby, to people who are more advanced, and, so I leave my door open to anyone and everyone, and feel free to ask your questions. Even though it might be something that you might feel that has already been answered, I will happily answer your questions. So that's the whole point of the show. It's all about you guys. Of course, also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Discord's fantastic. Join us on Discord. We keep the conversation rolling 24/7 there. It's more like 25/7, really. But the monkeys are very generous and helpful, and everybody's sharing and everybody's having fun. And we usually keep it pretty good there. Only one rule: don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. Just don't be a dick. And stay as long as you like and have fun, and or creep and lurk and whatever's, and yeah, so whatever, do whatever, whatever feels good. Also at wayofthebrush.com is a links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And if you have purchased yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. Also, you'll find a link for Patreon support. I'm independent, and it's how I keep the lights on. It's all these pretty colorful lights. It's how I keep the website and all that. And so, if you want to help support the channel and help me continue to grow and expand and make this better and make this a better experience, Patreon is how it's going to happen. There are varying tiers of support there, so click whatever makes sense to you. And, thank you very much. And a big thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. Without them, wouldn't have made it this far. So, huge thank you to everybody there. And of course, if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, and sharing the video all help the channel as well. And it doesn't cost you anything. All it costs is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. So please, feel free to do that as well. Or don't. I don't care. Whatever. Big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us amongst the living, to take the time, create the email jingles that play before the email segments of the show. So always much love to Carl. Love you long time. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. Much love to my baby bro, Evan. And of course, if you're into rare comics, I'm talking rare, obscure, like stuff nobody's even heard of for like 30, 40, 50 years, check him out, EB Comics. He might have the hookup for you. He just might. And he's updating that thing all the time. And, so, yeah. Man, I'm getting a little warm down here. Is that it for my spiel? That's usually it for my spiel, right? I got to shave some time off of that. I think next time I'm working on a new intro, I think I'm going to have to make a shorter intro, I think. And then I might have to do my little intro spiel a little quicker. I don't know. I always sound rather frantic. Evan Flow's joining us. Up, everybody? Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Looking forward to getting some hobbying done today. Toddy. Mike Grimshaw. Happy Saturday, Monkeys. I'm just sitting in my car waiting for some primed minis to dry. Did you have to drive there? Sitting in your car. Why are you sitting in your car? Or unless you're out in your garage doing it, I guess. Makes sense, right? I don't know. TH. What the funkies, monkeys? Ghost of Starman today. Whoops. Yeah, I got it. I got you. Mike Grimshaw, a.k.a. the Paint Sniffer. Yeah, the Paint Sniffer. I put out a video yesterday. Was that yesterday? It was yesterday. Just a tip for everybody. Because, I'm a gentleman. And basically, I was playing with Coat d'Arms. Doing side-by-side comparison of Coat d'Arms. And whether or not it smelt like the old Citadel recipe. And I got to tell you, they do. They smell very similar. It's everything I remember. So, for all you nostalgia folk, people who, have difficulty letting go of the past, Coat d'Arms. There's also another paint line. What is it? War Painter 88 or something like that? Or Nostalgia 88, I think is what it's called. Apparently another paint line that follows the old Citadel recipes, I guess, manufacturing. I don't know. They could be all the same manufacturer. For a long time, I've heard that it's the same manufacturer who does P3 paints. But mind you, though, a lot of the P3 paints are very different hues and values. Like even the metallics have different values to them and everything like that. So now, mind you, I've played a bit and I have a few P3 paints, usually just the reds, because the reds were really, really fantastic. They were like the old Citadel reds. But anyway, yeah, I have not played a lot of the entire paint line of P3. I would be curious because I am a fan of those paints. Just because of just the nice smoothness of them. Although, if memory serves, a lot of those paints finish with more of a semi-gloss rather than, let's say, for example, like Scale 75, which finish very matte. So, yeah. But, anyway. But, yeah, Paint Sniffer, definitely. It was the sniff test. And the only time that I've smelt that smell before since painting way back in the day was Citadel's technical Typhus Corrosion. That, for whatever reason, that smells just like those old paints. And so, yeah. Nostalgia. It does funny things to us, right? Nostalgia. Dark Commission. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hi, Dark Commission. No fucks given. Just a tip. Skeet, skeet. Yeah, pretty much. George Ince over on Twitch. Hi, Kris. Hi, George. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, Kris and Peep. Morning. James and Kent. Afternoon, Kris. Afternoon, everyone. Afternoon, James. Mike Grimshaw. I love in an apartment. So, you love an apartment. I'm sure you love in an apartment and you live in an apartment. So when I prime, I have to do it in the parking lot. Nice weather for spray cans in Ontario. It is a nice day. Today is a nice day. I was just outside before doing this, and the sun is warm, the air is cool. It's my favorite kind of weather. It's, relatively low humidity, and, it's good. I like it. It's kind of unfortunate, though, because it is a nice day, that I've already put away my barbecue, so... because it was getting cold a couple weeks back, and, we decided, well, let's just put the damn thing away, and, we'll say hello in the spring, and... Yet, we could probably still get some more good barbecuing in. I still have coals. I do coal barbecue. I don't do gas. I don't do gas, man. I don't do gas. I don't do that. Dark Commission. I used to be addicted to brush soap, but I'm clean now. Just take a moment to absorb that. Evan Belleau, it's your soap and your equipment. You can wash as vigorously as you want. Yeah, it is your soap and it is your equipment. Do whatever you want, right? Exactly. Just do whatever you want. Just do it. James and Kent, nostalgia isn't as good as it used to be. Fuck, everybody's a comedian today, huh? Fire Drink 18. Hello, peeps. So are we going to talk about that burning sensation? Some other people would like to know. Not me, though. Well, it all depends. I mean, where is the burning sensation? Is it at your fingertips? Then that might be nerve damage. If it's in your toes, again, might be nerve damage. You definitely want to go check out your doctor. If it's at the end of your peener, then, again, you'll want to talk to your doctor. Of course, whenever I have a burning sensation, in my mouth, it's usually when I'm eating, jalapenos. I find some sour cream. And so that kind of logic, would that apply anywhere else? Could you sit there and just put sour cream on the end? No? It's probably bad medical advice. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. God, for God's sakes, don't do it. Brun Anyway, War Colors have a range called Nostalgia 88 paints and inks. Okay, they're the ones I thought. Was it War Colors? I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember who was doing Nostalgia 88. I know there's a paint line out there called Nostalgia 88, which is supposed to be, a match for, the old Citadel range. And the old Citadel range is only like, what, 70 colors? It's only like 70 colors if you look at all the old paints from way back in the day. There wasn't that many colors, but all the colors were heavily saturated. And, like realistically, in our paint lines, you only need, at the bare minimum, you only need your primaries and a black and a white, a silver and a gold. And you should be fine to paint whatever you need painted, right? Because those are the basic fundamentals of any paint line. But when we're talking metallic, like a nice bright metallic gold, a nice bright gold, and of course, what helps you speed up your times, of course, is if you have varying shades of red, varying shades of blue, different grays, different shades of metallics, those all help. That's all gravy. But otherwise, no, you only need just primaries, black and a white, a bright silver and a bright gold. And you can accomplish anything on a miniature. You can accomplish it all. You can do it all. You can do it all. You're going to do a ton of mixing. You're not going to do a lot of batch painting. Well, if you have your wet palette and everything like that, and if you mix a large batch, you probably could get through a good section of models. But then, of course, maintaining consistency requires you to have a good color match sensibility so that you could match what you had done. And, of course, it also requires you to keep notes of your color mixtures so that if you need to go back, say, a year or two or month or whatever, you can go back and you can, match those colors up, especially if you say, you went with 3 yellow, 1 red, 1 blue, spot of white, spot of black, and then that was how you arrived to that color. Then as long as you kept notes like that, that's why it's helpful to maintain a notebook to do those things, because you can just put a little bit of that paint on your page and then just write down the recipe on how you got to that color, so that if you ever need to go back to it, that's how you go back to it. And keeping notes is just a good habit to be in, especially if you do have a tendency to mix a lot of your colors. Keeping notes is very handy. It saves you a lot of pain and heartache, trying to, come back to whatever it was that you were painting, right? Especially if you're into one-off type projects, like busts and, just painting models on a whim kind of thing, right? If you're even getting into like display painting, you're going to do a lot of mixing, you can display paint, yes, right out of the bottle. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean anything. But the tendency is that people who are, painting to a higher standard, you end up mixing a lot more because you want an off variant from a color that is out of the bottle. You might want to desaturate it. You like that value, but you want to desaturate it or increase saturation or, whatever, push the green a little further, a little bit more yellow here or red, whatever it is, right? So you just end up, doing a bit more mixing. David Vega. Afternoon, Kris and Monkeys. Afternoon, David Vega. TH. Was Snakebite leather in one of the old box sets? I always thought it came later. I'm pretty sure Snakebite leather came in one of the old box sets, because there was what are the old Citadel box sets? I remember there was Color, there was Expert, which is the inks. Let's see here. Let's see if we can find a listing of old Citadel box sets, paint box sets. Let's try spelling Citadel right. Citadel paint set boxes, right? Let's see if we can do it by an image search here. Okay. If I was to take a guess, because I don't remember exactly when it was, but if I had to guess, it would have probably been in the Creature paint set, because the Citadel color paint set. There was the monster paint set. There was the creature paint set. And then there was, the Space Marine paint set. And then there was the expert paint set. And each set came with, I think, 9 colors. Was that it? Color, monster, creature, Space Marine, and expert. And I remember when I was young, and I bought the expert, I was like, oh, I was intimidated. I was like, this is the expert paint set. Like this is the shit now. I mean, I'm in it now. I'm in it. I mean, I got the expert. Meanwhile, it's just inks. When we're young and not informed, and yeah. But yeah, I thought there was one more. That's only what, 5 paint sets? I thought there was more paint sets. It was color, monster, creature, expert, and Space Marine. I thought there was another paint set. Does anybody know? Is anybody's memory better than mine? I'm sure lots of people's memory is better than mine, but yeah. I still have, I think, a couple of my expert inks. Well, Citadel inks. Pretty sure. Yeah, here's my old brown ink. Label's falling off, but that's the old brown ink. Still paint in it, or ink. I still have my orange. This was fantastic for rust. Tons in that one. And I thought I had my green around. Here's the old snakebite leather. Screw it. I no longer care. Oop. Something fell over. I slammed the drawer a little too hard there. But anyway, yeah. It's a lot of fun. An Orc Eldar paint set. Yes, thank you, TH. Very good. Very good. Yes, there was an Orc Eldar one that had one of my favorite pieces of artwork, which was all the Eldar fighting the Orcs, and it was like, you could see like Phantom Titans and Gargants in the background. Man, if Warhammer Art got their hands on the original piece and made a print of that, like a nice big print of it, I'd snap that up in a second. Yes, the metallics paint set. Yes, there was a colored metallics paint set as well. Man, you're on the ball, TH. Dark Commission episode 321. Go! James and Kent, my schlong is in this yogurt purely for medical reasons, Your Honor. As he said as they were escorting him out of the grocery store. TH, my first paint set was the old creature set when I was 10. Not having red and blue was a little hard. The Citadel, the color set, the original one with the golden demon sitting like that, that one had the primaries in it. And then the monster set had some, like, I'm pretty sure it had like the very bright green. It wasn't mood green, it was scorpion green. Man, what was it? Bile green. Bilous green. That's what it was. Bilous green. And then the creature set had more subdued tones in it, like I'm pretty sure the snakebite leather was in that one. Man, is there a listing of? If somebody finds a list, post a link if you can, or send me an email showing me the link to things, the thing about the things. Sorry, I gotta move my head around here. Sorry. My microphone's in I gotta figure out a better place for my microphone. I often have my microphone like just kind of right by my camera here. But if I bring my mic a little bit closer, you see, you can hear me really well, but then the mic is like right in the shot, and it's kind of annoying. So that's why I do things the way I do things. I do things the way I do things. Things that I do that I keep doing. Fuck. Never mind. Anyway. I already read that one. David Vega, Joe Biden is voted as president of the United States. Yeah, I heard that Pennsylvania, they were calling Pennsylvania for him. So that was it. Pennsylvania was it. If Joe got Pennsylvania, he wins. And Trump needs Pennsylvania to stay in it. And losing Pennsylvania was it. So I guess we're calling it. Is it called? I don't know. I haven't been watching the news too much today. Just, a little bit of fatigue from this whole election thing, but I mean, it was to be expected, right? But Yes, I'm sure there is much rejoicing as there is gnashing of teeth. TH, it was in the Orc and Eldar paint set. Oh, Snakebite Leather was in the Orc and Eldar? Okay. TH, fuck yeah, Biden won. Fuck yeah. Gee, are you a Biden supporter? Where am I here? Okay, there we go. TH, Color, Creature, Monster, Expert, Space Marine, Orc and Eldar, and the Metallics. Yeah, I forgot about the Orc and Eldar and the Metallic set. I don't remember what the Metallic set. The Metallic set, I bought the Metallic set when right away because it had that fantastic metallic purple. And I remember an old White Dwarf article showed how to push that metallic deeper and go brighter. And I was like, oh man. And so there was a while where I was painting a lot of my miniatures. It was a lot of chaos models. And I was painting them with the metallics and, pushing them darker, pushing them brighter, and all sorts of fun stuff. And metallics were so much fun because you could just dry brush them essentially, right? Like a lot of metallic models, you could just dry brush them and, they're really, really cool. But yeah. Holy Carmolies, Super Chat, Killer Whale. Thank you, Super Chat. Thank you, Killer Whale. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Hey man, painting a Manipolis right now. How do you deal with that thing where you only ever see flaws? Also, do you varnish for tabletop? Okay, well, last part first. For varnishing tabletop, I recommend it very strongly, whether it's a matte or a gloss or a semi-gloss. Your pick, depending on whatever finish you want to go for. Oftentimes, I like gloss, especially on my Eldar, for the armor because it gives them that race car kind of look. Because I paint all my Eldar Samhan, so it's red, and I always go for that fire engine red with really strong, bright, bold red. And I like that gloss finish on it because it looks like a Ferrari to me, right? So it looks speedy, right? So that's why I often do that. But like finishings on fur and cloth, you often want a matte or semi-gloss. Semi-gloss is fine as well because you can often get that sheen on the hair kind of thing. Sure, it's, again, personal preference. But a varnish, definitely. If they're tabletop and they're going to be played with, definitely, you want to varnish them. Just because they're going to be handled a lot, right? And if you want to preserve the paint job, and if you're going to spend some time doing a good paint job, you definitely want to protect it, especially if you're intending on playing with them, right? So how do you deal with that thing where you only see flaws? Now, I'm not 100% sure on what you mean by that, but like, flaws in your own work? Well, that one is kind of tough because basically that is, your own opinion of your own work. And oftentimes when we are unhappy with our own work, it's because we are striving for this idea of perfection. And I've often said this many times, stop going for perfection. It's unrealistic. It's never going to happen. Perfection is never going to happen. Just paint it until you're happy with it and where it's an acceptable standard, especially if you're going to be gaming with these pieces. If you're going to be gaming with them, you really do not want to be spending, 100+ hours because there are so many different ways that model can get damaged and ruin that really great paint job that you spent 100 hours on. Now, if it's going to be a model that you're going to have on your display shelf in your bookcase and, or you're entering in competition or, whatever, or if you're a commission artist and you're going to send it and somebody's paying you for a really good paint job, that's when, you want to spend a lot of time on a miniature. When you're painting just for tabletop, you really don't need to because, again, there are million and one ways that model can get ruined, get dropped, dice goes flying into it, somebody spills coffee, you know what I mean? Like, just there's a million and one ways. So, but yeah, not being happy with your own work, that is just more of you overthinking what you're seeing and you trying to go for a standard, a perfection, a fantasy that isn't real. And even if you were painting to, say, for example, you're inspired by another notable artist whose miniatures you see and you go, I would love to paint like that person. but you're relatively early in your painting experience. You're only maybe a year or two in. Well, you need to put the time in to master your paints and master your brushes and master your techniques. You got to put time in, right? And so if you are painting a miniature and you're not, and it's not looking like what you're seeing on the box, or you're not seeing like in the magazines or on the websites, or you know what I mean, like your artist, whoever you're trying to emulate, if you're not getting there and it's making you unhappy, well, you just got to be patient and you will get there as long as you keep painting, keep trying. Don't be afraid to fail. Do not be afraid to fail, because everybody fails. Even those masters who you see have flawless techniques, they've failed many times to get to that point. But they've also put in the time to master their technique and what their desired effects and what they want to do. So just keep painting. Just keep painting. That's all I can really say about that. Yeah. Ghost Star Manilux just sent through an email I had been planning to send last week. Cool. That other Akshat. Mate, love your content. Keep doing what you're doing. Heart. Thank you. Akshat. Is that supposed to be more like asshat, or is that just Akshat? Or axe hat? Axe hat? I don't know. Old Man Logan. Hey there, Kris. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, old man. James Kent. Flaws are all there and is until the model is finished. No judging. When you are halfway through, you will go mad. Yes, definitely that too as well. Yeah, that as well. Don't judge it when you're done, or when you think you're done. Don't judge it halfway through, and you haven't even finished, working with one color and laying color out on a model. Don't start at that point. Wait until you're done, and then examine it. Okay, well, I didn't do this right. Next time, I'll do more of this or less of this. I will add more color here. I'll take less color. I'll make it more brighter. I'll make it darker. You know what I mean? And examine it. And that requires self-reflection and requiring you to examine your own work and try to be objective, even though most of us are not objective about our own work. We either beat ourselves up or give ourselves too much praise, one or the other kind of thing, right? But yeah, and then so the other part of that is that when you see your errors, you learn from your mistakes and go, okay, I see what I did here. I've seen how somebody else does this, and they described how to do it, and what I did wasn't right, or wasn't what I see here. What did I do? Well, I didn't quite do this much work, or I didn't spend enough time here. I didn't use this color, or whatever it is. I think you understand my point, is that, as long as you can kind of break down what you did and go, okay, I see what I did. Next time I will do this, and then incorporate that. And yeah, again, it requires a lot of self-reflection. It requires a lot of practice, and yeah, but I mean, you can get there. Everybody can get there. There's nothing mystical about miniature painting. There's nothing mystical about it. Anybody can be taught how to paint a miniature to unbelievable standards. Anybody. As long as they have functioning limbs and a functional brain, they can learn and become masters at miniature painting. There's nothing mystical about it. And even like the knowledge for techniques and color theory and composition and all these things, those can all be learned as well. Nobody pops out of the womb an expert at miniature painting, or painting it for that matter. Nobody. So, don't lose heart. Just keep painting. Yeah, I got you what you mean there, Killer Whale. Yeah. And thank you, Killer Whale, for the super chat. D. Larso. Keep it classy. Like a sir. Killer Whale. I once had a kid at the game store drop my basilisk. It cracked in half. Yeah, exactly, right? So, imagine if you spent 100+ hours painting that, doing, putting a free-handed mural on the side of the tank, and then up, and it cracks, and the paint job and the paint all over the place, and it's right. versus, I mean, it would be even tragic if you went to a competition or whatever, and the judge is looking at it and then whoop, drop, you'd be mighty pissed, I'm sure. But at a game, yeah, you definitely, if you're going to be gaming with these pieces, you don't need to spend 100 plus hours on the paint job. You can get through it fairly quickly. I've often recommended for a decent paint tabletop is just simply base coat all the surfaces. Lay transfers down, finish the base, right? Or get the base to some sort of finish. Just put paint on every portion of the model, picking out the little details cleanly as possible, getting a nice smooth base coat, and the model already looks fantastic. Especially with a lot of these new sculpts. Oh my god. Like a regular old Space Marine, just like a Blood Angel. Primaris. You put a nice even coat of red on it, pick out his bolt gun in metal and black, paint his eyes in green, put a texture on his base, paint the rim, and the model already looks done. You could even slap a transfer on that and it's done, Then varnish it, it's ready to go. Throw a shade wash on it, you add a little bit of depth, holy cramoles, You're miles ahead of the game. No fucks given. To curb self-judgment, I set a standard I want and only allow myself a certain time limit. As long as there are no major mistakes or I can fix something quick, I just move on to the next. Yes, definitely. Well, it's definitely something where you want to get used to accepting your own limitations at the time. Now, I say at the time because as you keep practicing, as you keep painting, as you get better, as you learn from your mistakes, which you will make, and accept it and love it. Love that you make mistakes. Love that. Why? Because you're learning something. Because every time you make a mistake, you learn something. If everybody just said, "Oh, good job, good job, good job, good job," you're not learning anything. You just, "Oh, okay, I'm doing a good job." Well, what about the job is good? What particular aspect of the paint job do you like? What is working? What isn't working? What I mean? That's why oftentimes constructive criticism is very helpful to a lot of people. It might bruise your little ego. You might hold yourself in some sort of high esteem that, oh, I'm a really great painter. And then somebody looks at your work and goes, well, your application of paint's pretty heavy. You missed some details here. You probably could have pushed contrast a little further here. And you know what I mean? And then somebody just starts, knocking it down a whole bunch of pegs. And then you feel attacked. And, you shouldn't. You should love it when people are like, well, you should do this, and you go, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I could have went that way. I should have went that way. And then sometimes you say, well, yeah, I could have went that way, but I decided on this, and that's equally as valid as well. But don't be all butthurt about it, right? That somebody's being constructive in that regard. Now, if they're just being an ass and saying, "Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's a crappy paint job." Oh, that doesn't help. And that's not any good either. Giving you too much praise for, a mediocre paint job. I mean, like if somebody just says, "That's a fantastic job. That's a great miniature. You're awesome." That really doesn't help you a lot. And then just going, "Oh, that just sucks. Oh, you used the wrong colors." What are you even thinking there, right? If somebody does that, that doesn't help you either. It's oftentimes, well, here's where, I get pulled out of the viewing experience. Here's where, you could have done this. And, I like what you did here. This is fantastic work here. And, offers some constructive criticism is, but that requires a bit of detachment when viewing. And of course, you as the artist who painted it, you also need to develop a bit thicker skin as well. Put on your big boy pants and, be able to take the criticism. Be an adult. The other Akshat. Akshat? I want to keep saying Akshat. I'm just going to say Asshat. That's just my name. Me being an asshat is a separate topic. Love from India. Well, I don't know if I've had anybody from India. Well, welcome. Are you from India, or are you're from India but live in the States or Canada or whatever? But if you are in India, cool. I don't know if I've ever had anybody from India chime in. So welcome. Awesome. James of Kent. Also, I tend to not over-examine something the day I finish it. A few days can put things into a clear perspective. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. And yeah, Killer Whale, that's an excellent bit of advice right there. Walk away from it. Take a break from it. And I often do this myself when I'm painting something and I'm kind of like I'm hitting a wall, and I'll just put the model down and I'll go fix myself a snack and tea, maybe watch a movie, whatever, and then I'll come back. Maybe even come back the next day and then look at it and go, oh, okay, yeah, I need to change this, or I'm not liking this, and you know what I mean, and just come look at it with fresh eyes, essentially, right? And that's a great bit of advice, James. Take a break, stop looking at it, walk away, go do something, take an hour, take a day, whatever it is, take a break from that model. Don't even think about it. Get it out of your head, concentrate on something else, and then come back, right? And always, the main thing to always remember too is that this is a hobby, right? For a vast majority of you, this is a hobby, and you are supposed to enjoy your hobby. This is supposed to be a time of joy for you, happiness, right? This is supposed to be, your break from the real world, essentially, right? Break from, work, school, whatever it is, right? And, this is your time to just, sit back, enjoy, and play with your little toy soldiers, make your silver pants blue, right? And yeah, that's what this is all about. And, if you're not feeling the joy, you're not feeling the happiness, then I'm afraid you might need to, reflect and see why that is. Oftentimes real life is in the way. Well, not in the way, but it's the wrong way to put that. But real life, is a hindrance to our personal enjoyment within this hobby because stress, job, family, school, health, many factors which can pull us away from our little moments of joy. And if you're not dealing with those other elements of your real life, then it's only going to exacerbate your problem with the hobby, and you're just not going to enjoy your hobby time. You're just going to have all these other things weighing on you. So what that means is that you have to go and deal with the real life things before you can sit down. So you can sit down with a clean head and, enjoy your miniature painting time, right? So those are always very key factors in enjoying this hobby. You got to take care of real life first. That other asshat reside in India. Yep, love miniature painting, but we don't really get GW models here without a ton of customs. So just looking at people painting on the internet. Ah, cool. Well, I mean, in India, I don't even know if there's is there a big gaming scene in India? I have no idea. India, as far as this hobby is concerned, you don't see a lot of it. Anybody who is of Indian background, you see them on the internet, and oftentimes they're living in the States, Canada, and the UK, and all that, right? But not anybody right in India. And yeah, it's interesting. I have no idea, as far as hobby stores, and Warhammer and all that, and getting a ton of customs, yeah, it probably makes the products pretty expensive. But if you're into miniature painting, there's plenty of companies who I'm sure ship to India. I'm sure there are probably even people in India who are great sculptors who can sculpt, small things. You might even want to look into something like that. Support, a local artist who makes miniatures and sculptures and busts. And of course, the obvious one is 3D printing. Get a 3D printer and just start printing miniatures and start painting them. Just you see something on the internet, you see a 3D file, and go, oh, that looks cool. That would look really great as a miniature or as a sculpture or as a bust or, what have you. The paints we use for miniature painting, all they are for the most part, are water-based acrylic paints. That's all they are. Paint companies always claim, high pigment, but I mean, every company is going to claim that high pigment. Nobody's going to say, oh, well, we got the lowest pigment in our paint. We're proud of it, right? Like, nobody says that. So, when people are talking about, well, get these paints, because they have high pigment. Well, all the fucking paint companies say high pigment. I mean, but yeah, I mean, if this is something that interests you and, you seriously, honestly, I think a 3D printer is probably the best way to go about it, especially if it's really hard to get these products in your area. Yeah. But 3D printers, I mean, those things are everywhere. Hell, you can use a 3D printer to get yourself a 3D printer. It's like a chicken and the egg thing. Oh, shit. Anyway. Killer Whale. Thanks a lot, Kris. You've just motivated me to finish him today with your words. Cool. Well, if you finish him, send me a picture. Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It's in the description below. Send me a picture of your finished piece. I'll show it off. Or you can hashtag it on Instagram, Way of the Brush. In fact, we'll get to Instagram today. I forgot to do it last week. I've been trying to incorporate Instagram because, I see everybody's work on Instagram, but I thought it'd be more fun to incorporate, just a little segment where we look at people hashtagging Way of the Brush on Instagram. So it'd be fun. It's just a fun way of incorporating the social medias and stuff. And, everybody likes seeing their work, talked about. So it's fun. It's fun. It's just fun, right? Because this is a hobby, and this hobby is supposed to be fun. D. Larso. Got tired of trying to guess what shade of orange the president was going to be the next day. Killer Whale. And damn, Indians have best names. I have a mate called Asda, and boy, does he ever make puns about it. Asda? I don't get it. Asda, like Mazda? I don't know. Bayushi242. Hey guys and Kris. Hey, Alex Lego. My new happiness in this hobby has become Necron scarabs. They're adorable. Continues assembling 12th swarm. Well, it's kind of nice though, the new scorpions. Wow, the new scarabs, because they have that really great kind of like cloud of scarabs moving through the air, like they're floating in the air kind of thing. I really like the new scarabs that come in the warrior box sets, right? They're really great. And the fact that they're just, this single mass, attach them to the rocks, attach to the base, you're done, right? Nice and easy. And yeah, and of course, like when we get on the topic of cute things in Warhammer 40,000, like why aren't there snotling plushies? Why aren't there nurgling plushies? Why aren't there little scarab plushies? Why aren't there for like Dark Angels, the Watchers? Right? Why aren't there the Watchers? Anyway. Now I just want I want my plushie nurgling now. Why aren't plushie nurglings a thing? Damn it. Somebody, please tell me why aren't nurgle plushies a thing? Snotling plushies, a thing. Rippers. Plushie. Now, damn it. I even have plushies of from War Machine. I have a little agonizer, little baby agonizer from Privateer Press. They did plushies. Because plushies are fun. They're fun. It's fun. This is a goddamn hobby and it's supposed to be fun. Are we having fun yet? Just start getting all intense. TH, episode 321. Kris supports Indian counterfeit scheme. What did I say about counterfeiting? I didn't say shit about counterfeiting. Getting a 3D printer. I didn't say copy established IP files. Like I said, support a local sculptor. I said yeah. I didn't say counterfeit. What people do, I mean, if anybody wants to stop counterfeiting, I mean, like you can start, shipping that shit into that country. I mean. Oh, jeez. Demon Monkey Bot. D. Larso, thank you for following. He's Demon Monkey Bot over on my Twitch side of things. The Twitch side. On the Twitch side. That other Akshat. Akshat? Anyway. Don't work yet, so can't buy a printer just yet. Soon, maybe. But yes, I paint cheap models with glazes and feel good about it. Yeah, I mean, you know, you'll develop. I mean, it all depends. I mean, like if you see painters out there who are doing something that you really enjoy and you want to emulate what they're doing and expand upon it and maybe one day, you know, outgrow it, of course, you know, do it and just, you know, whatever makes you happy, whatever free time you have, right? That's the whole point of this hobby, right? We do this in our free time and it's supposed to bring us joy. And if we're really bent out of shape about this stuff and, you know, feeling really awful about it and, you know, then you got to really examine it, right? And, you know, and also, you know, not expecting too much of ourselves, you know, stop overthinking things and stop striving for perfection, whatever that is, right? That doesn't exist. Love your mistakes. Love making mistakes because that means you're learning. You're learning. Unless, of course, you're completely oblivious to it. In which case, you know, I don't know. You're probably not listening to me anyway. You're probably off in your own fantasy world that you're just fantastic. Hail Bob. Heyo. Heyo. That other Akshat. To be honest, I like a piece of that scheme. The counterfeit scheme? I can endorse that. In fact, I don't endorse recasting. I don't. All my Forge World stuff, all my flyers, my vampire, that's all legit Forge World. There's a record of those purchases. In fact, I'm sure Forge World has the record of those purchases. I don't know if I still have my record. I might have the email somewhere. But yeah. I don't support recasting. Yes, they charge a lot for their models. Yes, they possibly are overpriced. Yes, Forge World could adjust those prices. Yes, Forge World could also reduce the amount of excess resin they use. Because oftentimes, I think how they price their things, they're charging by weight. And the channels, the gates that are on the bits, there's great big hunks of resin that are bigger than the part. And they're charging you, if they're figuring out a pricing scheme, by weight. Well, that's kind of ridiculous because you're paying for half, quarter, sometimes even 3/4 of the weight of the bit. You know, and it's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. So, you know, is it perfect? No. Nothing's perfect. Perfection does not exist. Especially within anything man-made. Anything made by man is not perfect. Can't remember exactly going with this, but like recasting stuff like that only hurts the hobby, because when you are buying recast, the company who made it, who own the IP on it, right? They can no longer support their artists. So then eventually they stop supporting that line. Then they stop producing the models. Then what? Then you have this hodgepodge. Like imagine the landscape of this hobby without Games Workshop. If Games Workshop shut their doors, still retains their IP, but shut their doors, stopped producing models, and went out of business. Which is what a lot of people seem to want, even though they are, you know, in love with this hobby. And I'm not sure why that is, like what kind of mindset that is. That sounds like crazy people. But anywho, let's pretend. They go out of business. Stop producing models. No new models. Go out of business. And, you know, but they retain the IP because it's their IP, and IP, you know, they can. So anybody who wants to try and produce new things can't because they retain the IP, unless of course they want to pay royalty or licensing fee or whatever, right? And then so then all you have is this landscape of recasts. All you have is this landscape of recasts of varying quality, and a lot of people getting burned. There's a lot of shady things going on, and it's no good. And then the hobby dies. The hobby would die without somebody coming in to fill in that gap and producing new things. elevating and, bringing fresh things. Recasters don't bring anything fresh. Their motivation is only the dollar, the money that they can get. They can make a quick buck off of something by selling it under what the retail is. Even though, yes, it does cost them a little less, and especially if it's coming from a country that, does not have good labor laws, right? And does not pay their workers a living wage, right? That's another reason not to support those things, right? That's another reason not to support those endeavors. So, no, don't support recasters, because they're basically just thieves. They're scabs. They're not bringing anything new. So why support somebody who's not going to bring innovation and elevate and promote? Why? Why support something like that? Like, because of you're tired of spending $10 more on a part? Yes, I realize it's probably more, but I'm just saying for an example. So, stop supporting recasters. It only hurts this hobby in the long run. Anyway, where am I? James Kent, merchandising idea. Bloodletter nightlights for toddlers. Well, imagine like a great unclean one or a plague bearer or something like that lights up. That's a plushie that glows. You can hug them and, remember like the glowworm, and kids hugged it and it glowed and it was soft. Anyway, a whole line of children's toys. Mike, oh God, the agonizer. What such an amazing unit to use, but holy shit, was that a depressing model? Yeah, the back one. Yeah, where you read about the background. Yeah, the agonizers. Yeah, but I still have my baby agonizer up there. He's still up there. Let me see here. Can I adjust this? Let's see here. If I can adjust my cam. Yeah, he's right. He's right there. He's a little plushy agonizer. He's cute. He's a little agonizer. There's my lightsaber. I haven't whipped that one out today. Haven't had an excuse to whip it out. You can see how fast the conversation devolves around here. James and Kent, episode 321. Kris rapidly backtracks on support for Indian counterfeit scheme. I didn't backtrack because I wasn't on track to support Indian counterfeiting. I don't even know how we got onto Indian counterfeiting. I mean, it seems like the counterfeit market is pretty huge in China and in India. There's this channel I watch on YouTube where he talks a lot about the scammers, online scammers, like tech support scammers, all these online scams. A lot of them are based out of like India. Not all of them, but there's quite a few big ones that are in India. And yeah, it's interesting. No fucks given. All of a sudden, Kris lost his Forge World models in a boating accident. No way, man. They're getting buried with me. I'm taking them to the grave. I'll have them melted down and molded into my casket. The other chat. Well, there are a few people with actual... Oh, the comment jumped on me. There are a few people with actual armies, but they source them through families living outside the country. Some are there on order, but COVID has delayed that too. Yeah, definitely. I had plans to make a converted Necron army, but oh well. Well, I mean, still have the plans, but yeah, you might have to be patient. But when things kind of trickle in, and it's hard to get material, and I found that early on when I was a younger man in high school, when I was, we're talking early 90s. And where I lived, there was no Games Workshop. And at the time, there was really no hobby stores either that carried product. But there was a chain, and most Canadians might remember this, Leisure World was a chain of hobby-like stores. And they used to have a tiny-ass little section within their model section. And they used to carry some Games Workshop product, believe it or not. And so I, used to check that out all the time every week whenever I went into town and had a look. And yeah, and then of course, a local comic book store came friend. He started carrying product, and then it really started to explode from that point forward. And then there was a pretty healthy scene in the town. After that point. Oh, Demon Monkey Bot. Kalarsheb. Welcome. And thank you for the follow. But yeah, I was cut off from a lot of stuff, and my father used to travel quite a bit, and he used to have stopovers in Toronto, which is one of Canada's bigger cities. And he used to have like a layover in Toronto, and so he would head downtown for me to the local Games Workshop, which was the only, there was only two at the time. There was only two in Canada, one in Toronto, one in Vancouver. And when he'd have a stopover in Toronto, he used to go to the Games Workshop for me, which was a trip getting from the airport to the store and then back to the airport. And then he used to go and pick me up stuff, and I'd write down the product codes and tell him what I was looking for, and then he used to go and pick them up. And yeah, and stuff slowly trickled in. And when I was younger, me and my buddies, we all had a rule in our gaming group that nobody played with unpainted models. We had that very strict rule. Then somewhere along the way, we bent that rule. But anywho, I think once everybody kind of started getting jobs, and there's a sale here or this or that, So yeah. Anyway. James again, episode 321. Kris denies all knowledge about alleged Indian counterfeit scheme. I do deny all knowledge. I was about to do it in a Clinton voice. I did not have sex. Anywho, but that's it. I'm changing. That's you win. You win. I can see I'm obviously not able to talk my way out of this one. I'm not going to be able to talk my way out of this. I'm just going to have to use it as the title now. You win, James. You win. No fucks given. I have a couple of knockoff items, but only because when I waited over 4 months for them to restock, I compete in 40K, so if I need it, it will be where it can. At this point, it's on GW. Well, need's a pretty strong word, right? Do you really need it? This is a hobby, right? I mean, but that aside, yeah, I mean, things being on a wait list. I mean, I've been waiting almost over a year, for those goddamn tiles for Necromunda. The tiles, I've been waiting over a year for those. And, one of the monkeys is kind enough to help me out. And so that's pretty awesome. But, yeah. Sorry, I'm just sending the wife a message. I need coffee. I'm out of coffee. Anyway, yeah, so, I've been waiting, but I was looking at other things, like 3D printing, and I seen that there's some people out there, there's a file out there for 3D printed tiles for Necromunda use. I wouldn't blame anybody for going that route. I definitely wouldn't hold them against them. I definitely would, not say, oh, well, blah, 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 No, definitely not. But, I really wanted those tiles, So, yeah. Anywho. I'm lost in these things here. Killer Whale. Russian counterfeit minis are also popular, though people also don't like them nowadays because GW is putting out such amazing models. Oh, definitely. Like the Tech Priest I'm painting. Has more details than a squad of old Marines. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. No fucks given. Damn, I butchered that sentence. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to read, man. But I endeavored to interpret what you were saying. Kalar Sheb, Kalarsheb. Anyway. What a mustache. Must be hard to maintain. To maintain? Not really. You just let the shit grow, right? But, I mean, I do wax it. And, you know, I do trim it every once in a while when the ends, whenever you see the hairs kind of going like squiggly. Yeah, that's when it's time to trim these down a bit. But yeah, the hairs on my face here grow really long. And on the upper lip, not so much. And I still have the white hair in there. Everybody last week was ragging on me about a white hair that was sticking out of my mustache. It's still there. He's combed in. He's just combed in. And yeah, I'm still thinking of shaving this shit off. I might even do it right after the show. I'm just feeling that nutty. So, yeah. When you feel like a nut. Anyway. Where the hell am I? The other Akshat. Yeah, man. Country is fucked up in this counterfeit regard, but it's too large of a thing here to control. Government ain't the best at trying to counter it either. Slowly, eventually, maybe. Yeah, that's, again, I mean, like, that's, yeah. I realize that, you know, like, obviously for a lot of people it's a source of income, and, you know, these factors play a part, you know. It's unfortunate, but it's a reality, you know. Oftentimes too, I mean, like, yes, you can cite. It is a valid argument to cite corporate greed, you know, which make it hard for, you know, and of course creating monopolies that exclude smaller enterprises from getting a foothold in the market, right? Yes, I can see that point. If we're talking like the, you know, call centers and counterfeiting and all that, you know, crap. But yeah, I get it. But I would rather side in the issue of recasts and miniature recasts and sculpt recasts. I would still rather side with the artists than the people who's trying to make a quick buck off their work. Because I know it personally, if I put out a painting and then somebody else was using it to make a buck or making prints off of it or whatever, and I was not being attributed, I was not being compensated, yeah, definitely, that's theft. That is theft. And it's just, and recasting is theft. You can you know, dance around the idea of it, you know, sticking it to the man kind of thing. Sure, you can do that as well. Go right ahead. It's your dollar. Personally, I sleep better at night knowing that I'm not supporting somebody who's hurting an artist, because artists are exploited in every facet of this world, from the sculpting and graphic design, website designs, you know, car designs, and you know what I mean? Like, artists are exploited all over the place, and it needs to stop. Artists are not compensated for their work properly. Even commission artists, like all you guys out there who want to be, you know, commission painters, you guys are not being paid what you should be paid, because nobody values the work. Right? And why is that? It's a societal thing. It's a societal thing, right? Because it can come so easily to us that have a talent for it. And, you know, because we can end up making it look easy, well, then, you know, it's easy, right? If we make it look easy, then it's got to be, it's no worries. It's, you know, it's not worth much, right? So, and also too, I mean, artists also have egos and, you know, things like that nature. And so there's many, many things. It's not just one thing. As with any issue on this planet, it's never one thing on its own. It's a spectrum of things. Killer Whale. We have amazing third-party models nowadays. Space World War I Germans are lifesaver if you want to play the best guardsman from Krieg. Go. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I did not have sexual relations with that Wraith Knight. Yeah. Sorry, my throat's dry, so. Oh, shit. Oh, it's cold. Damn it, my coffee's cold. I'm out of coffee. Apparently she's making some more. Hopefully she comes down soon. Hopefully. Anyway, where was I? I did not have sexual relations with that Wraith Knight. And you gotta say a bit like him too. And then smell your finger. Killer Whale. And some cool dudes did Valhallans and Commissar Kane himself. And Jurgen with the Melta. Cool. Yeah, see, now that's another one that I'm not 100% behind. I know there's a couple companies out there that produce models or alternate sculpts. And yeah, I sometimes I'm not for it, and sometimes I am for it. And, you know, I go back and forth on the issue. Like for example, alternate Eldar sculpts. Okay, for a long time, like Chapter House, they had a sculpt of a warlock on jet bike. And Games Workshop didn't have a model like that yet, and so that was the big deal of, you know, what was going on with them. But anyway, I didn't care for the sculpt. I didn't care for it. I didn't think it was very good, and I wouldn't have bought any, you know, no matter what he was selling for. I didn't like the sculpts. They just weren't good looking. And I see that a lot even with models today, the commissars, the sexy commissars, the Eldar, you know, with the boobs hanging out, or, you know, Tau, and, you know, like these kind of things. I don't like them because they, because legally they have to change the design so much that they don't get sued. For the most part, most of them do. That's why they don't, and so they end up over embellishing models with details, and it looks like crap. It looks like crap. They're just overly textured, and just proportions are off, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, stop. Like, just create your own. You know what I mean? It's like, again, it's kind of like riding the coattails of somebody else. And then, you know, you want to be taken seriously as an artist, and you're riding somebody else's coattails. You can't take that person seriously. You can't take that argument seriously. Riding somebody else's coattails, you know? Stop. Do your own thing. Make up something original. Are you afraid that your original idea is not going to, you know, have mass appeal? It might not. It might fail spectacularly. But you know what? You try again. You do something else, right? So, you know, no, I don't agree with art theft, and art riding of coattails. I don't support those. Original. Let me see some original goddamn sculpts. Like one company, Spellcrow. They have some bits that, you know, tread the line of riding coattails. But they also have some original sculpts as well, which are fantastic. I've done like their werewolf, and they also sent me like these little pumpkin duders for this little Umbra game that they have, or Umbra miniature line. Very, very interesting sculpts. Original. Different. I support it, right? Riding somebody's coattails, again, you know. Which is why I don't get overly worked up about, like, say, you know, paint lines. Somebody who's imitating Games Workshop's color swatch. Do something different. Like, at least P3 had the balls to do alternate colors. Jeez Louise. Somebody else is following. Damn monkey scared the shit out of me. Toady887. Toady or Toddy? Toddy? Toady? Anyway, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Oh my god. Yeah, it was a monkey. It's a monkey scream, because it's demon monkey butt. Demon monkey butt's alerting me. And if I had the volume up a little higher, it probably would have really scared the crap out of me. So anyway, yeah, you know, I support all these endeavors, you know. Paint lines, you know, they're just imitating what Games Workshop's already done. Okay, great. More pigment than Games Workshop. Well, you know, I mean, everybody makes that claim. You know, let's put it to the tests, right? And there are paint tests that can test these things, but I don't see anybody ever doing it. Anyway. Where the hell am I? I don't know. The other act chat. Anyway, man, gotta leave now. Have fun streaming. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. TH. Males? Yeah. Holy carmolies. We're 10 after 1 already. Holy carmolies. Cromolies. Killer Whale. Yeah, your mustache is amazing. Thank you. The only subset of artists actually overpaid are furry artists. Furry artists? I wish I was joking, but naked wolf people are apparently a lucrative thing to draw. Had no idea. Had no idea. Furry artists. Oh, I'm afraid to Google that. Fuck it, I'm Googling it. I got my safe search on. I'm not going to show you guys anyway. Okay, so furry artists. All right, here we go. Furry artists. Oh, yeah, look at that. Fiverr. Sorry, I got to move around my shit here. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay. It's weird. Yeah, I've seen these things before. I didn't know this was, like... I didn't know there was a lot of money in this game. I had no idea that this was a lucrative endeavor. Well, Ghost of Starman Deluxe. I don't bother whining about third-party sculpts. A nice pair of boobs is a nice pair of boobs. Sure, but I mean, like if I want booby sculptures, there's people who are doing it better and more fun in a style that I like, which is more like Kingdom Death. Kingdom Death. I mean, if you want boobies, that's where you go for boobies, because they got the big anime boobies, right? So, I mean, Kingdom Death. If you want boobies, go to Kingdom Death. They're doing it. I don't know who's doing it better than Kingdom Death. Who's doing it better? I don't even know. Seriously, I don't know. Seriously. Toddy 887. You look like Paul the Mall Cop. I don't know who Paul is. You mean like Paul Blart? I look like Paul Blart? I look like... Good God. I think that's an insult. Thank you. Thank you for the insult. D. Larso. Bob Ross emoji. Yeah, just sit like this the whole time. James Kent. Look at some of the third-party Blood Bowl teams. Some nice alternate sculpts, but some blatant rip-offs. Yeah, and again, I have a hard time with that. Because, again, I like the aesthetics of, of what's canon. I guess is really what it is. It's canon. If it's from Games Workshop, it's canon. If it's not from Games Workshop, it's not canon. It's somebody else's gobbledygook, right? And, it's kind of like... no, it's not really like, I guess. I was going to say like fan fiction or, fan-made films, that kind of thing. But then that's not really a thing, or not really the same thing. Oh, my mug was right here.
I know, but I made a fresh pot.
Oh.
It was cold.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you put creamer in.
Yeah.
Oh, the poochie came down with you, too. She's going to follow you everywhere. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Where was I? Oh, right, rip-offs. So, again, I like it from the people who control the IP on it and the design aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like for example, I'm a big fan of Jess Goodwin's work with the Eldar. And in fact, even within Games Workshop, when they were changing the aesthetic of Eldar a bit, early on in 3rd edition or near the end of 3rd edition. But anyway, it was in Epic, and it was also in the Codex and stuff like that, the sculpts and stuff like that. They were, I'll say, junk in comparison to the original sculpts that Jess Goodwin had laid out initially way back in the 80s. I mean, from his original sculpts, or from his original designs, his sketches. Far superior, and have stood the test of time. And so that's why a lot of the Eldar stuff today is produced following those guidelines, because back in 3rd edition, like the fire dragons, oh man, those fire dragons pissed me off. They just looked like such crap. They had hard angles on them. They looked like they were trying to make Eldar look like Space Marines. And in Epic, the Phantom Titan, they ruined the Phantom Titan. Look up Phantom Titan, Eldar Phantom Titan. There's one where it's got all this like gobbledygook all over it. Oh, it looks like such crap in comparison to the original Phantom Titan as initially designed. And in fact, my Phantom Titan I have from Armorcast is based on that very old design. The new design for the Phantom Titan is great, you know, because it maintains that aesthetic. But the old, you know what? Fuck it. I'll see if I can pull up on the thingy here. Phantom Titan. Phantom Titan. I spelled Phantom wrong. Fuck, I'm an idiot. See here if I can pull up the one from Epic. Look. Oh yeah, here's a pic from. It's not a very good picture. The one in the box art just makes it look like complete shite. Complete. Like completely complete shite. Right here. If you see in the upper right corner. Yeah, there's just too much damn gibbly-gook all over it. Like, it's got this texture all over it. Like, oh my god. In comparison to the classic design, which is like this picture here. The one on the left is the old Armorcast, and the one on the right is the new one from Forge World. I have the old one on the left, and I that looks like the old Epic model, which is what everybody who was into, you know, these larger format models was into. Here's an old classic. Here he is with the Farseer. That's a nice paint job, too. But yeah, it's even hard to find pictures of that alternate sculpt of the damn thing, because it's just so damn... Oh, look at this thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know who sculpted this miniature, but goddamn. Goddamn. Like, what sort of drugs were people taking? Like, was there... Yeah, here's an old picture of mine. Because that's my Phantom Titan on the right, and that's the Warlord Titan. That Warlord Titan, it's destroyed. I'm pretty sure it's gone. It died a sad, horrible death. It fell and was broken, and nobody bothered to fix it. Nobody was willing to allow anybody willing to fix it, which is a damn shame. It's a crime. It's a goddamn crime. Is there any more shitty pictures? I was hoping to find one of the box art, but... Oh, here's another classic one. Yeah, that's a good one, too. See, like, I like that old design of the Phantom Titan. That's great. Ooh, look at this guy. He did one Sam Han. I like it. It's a very simple paint job on it. It's purely just base coat. There's no... like, obviously, there's transitions and stuff, but, like, you know... No edge highlighting or anything like that, or, you know. I mean, it really doesn't need it. Yeah, this is a fantastic one. Got all sorts of little colors going on and shit. Anyway, enough talking about Phantom Titans. There's the picture of the box art. You can't even really see it in that picture, but anyway. Oh, it was just, I don't understand. I don't understand what they were thinking of when they approved that design for the Phantom Titan. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Like, it's just... Oh, it's just... No. Go Starman Deluxe. Kris, no, don't. No. Oh, the furry artist? Yeah. Don't Google it. No. James Kent, looking at that furry stuff will take you down to a different type of rabbit hole. Yeah, definitely. No, I am familiar with it, though. I've seen it in passing. I wasn't aware that it was a thing that was, you know, people were making actual money from. I didn't know that I had no idea. Where am I? TH. Third parties kept Blood Bowl alive for 15 years while GW was out of it. People were going to play Blood Bowl regardless. Yeah, there was a lot of third party stuff, but people were people who love Blood Bowl. Love Blood Bowl, and Blood Bowl has had a strong following since its inception. Same with Space Hulk, right? People love Space Hulk. They don't play Space Hulk all the time, just like Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl, most people don't play it all the time. It's a beer and pretzel type of game. It's one that you just bust out with your buds and just, you know, yeah, we got a couple hours. Let's have a couple drinks and let's have some laughs. And let's play some Blood Bowl. You know what I mean? It's one of those games. It's not like Warhammer 40,000. Where, okay, you spend like an hour at your buddy's place, you know, preparing your army, getting your list prepared, and then, getting all your models out and getting this whole goddamn collection of models out so you can play a damn game. Blood Bowl, I mean, hell, your team can fit in your pocket, Like, it doesn't take much to play Blood Bowl. Hail Boop. I want to get a Titan, but I'll probably get the smaller Elder one or a Warhound. Yeah, get the Revenant. I like the Revenant. I'm missing the Revenant. I need a Revenant. I need a Revenant. I need it. I have an actual need for it. I like the Revenant. Even though its price in the game went up, but I don't care. I just like the look of the model. It looks fantastic. And yeah, I would still love to get a newer Phantom Titan. And the way things are going, I might have to get one sooner than later because who knows, the Games Workshop will keep producing the damn thing. So, yeah. All right, let's do an email. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, but here it comes. Let's just start the day off with this one. Email time. It's email time. Oh, it's done? I can never tell because I don't hear the music. This one is from our good buddy TH. Speaking of Blood Bowl. 2 years ago, I sent you my first 2 Blood Bowl teams with half a pipe dream to paint 10. Now, I'm finally sending you my 10th team. I already started number 11, so I guess I'm not done yet. But it does feel like a kind of milestone. Yeah, it is. This time, it's Chaos Chosen, and as always, with inspiration from the NFL, it is also a recreation of my childhood Blood Bowl team, the old 3rd edition Chaos models, that I lost in a fire years ago. Damn. As I was looking for color inspiration, I noticed that one NFL mascot looked an awful lot like a Beastman. And the team's uniform had a bit of a Zinch vibe to them. The LA Rams. Well, the new LA Rams color scheme that's a vibrant blue they're using now. It's a vibrant blue. What is that blue? It's almost like it's almost more cyan than it is like a proper blue. Anyway, I went with the old school dark blue and warm yellow as a base and added some gold and khaki details for the greatest show on turf reference and retro Thousand Suns feel. I think it makes for some really nice referential synergy. That's an expression. In the new rules, Chaos can pick an ogre or a troll as their big guy, and I happen to have a weird mutant lying around that could work as both. The model is from Killzone Rogue Trader box, and probably more of a Nurgle side of the Chaos spectrum. Still, I tried painting him in a vibrant Zinch colors, and he looks weird, but fun. Like the blue He-Man clone and Blanca from Street Fighter had a baby. I like him. Finally, I gave the Chaos Warriors some different heads for a bit of individuality and added a couple of mutations. Pretty quick work, but very satisfying. Let me know what you think, what I should work on. As always, thanks for all the great content. TH. And so let's have a look at his LA Rams Chaos Warriors. Yeah, so you kind of went with the old scheme, because the new scheme for LA Rams, that's a wicked bright blue. And in fact, if you were really going for a Zinchian blue, yeah, emulating their current color scheme really would be it. But regardless, they're fantastic. I actually like the dark blue. The color scheme works for me overall with the Beastmen. I like that really warm brown with the deeper blue. The mutant looks good from here. I really like the striking yellow hair. That's really good. Really good paint jobs. I like the transitions in the horns. The highlighting's really good. Mutations. The one guy in the crab claw there, I like that. He's got the little pinchy claw. A pinchy claw? Is that a Tyrannid pinchy claw? That's a Tyrannid pinchy claw. It's for pinching. I like Buddy on the left's head. He looks like a character from anime. I don't know who, but he reminds me of something from anime. Very, very cool. Every time I see Blood Bowl models, I'm always reminded I gotta pick up the new version of it. I want to pick up the second season. Because I think me and my boy, we're gonna play some Blood Bowl. Because my boy, he's a big NFL fan. Doing these guys' LA Rams is hilarious though. Because, yeah, the Rams, right? It's a little on the nose, but no, I like your highlighting. It's very clean. Honestly, like the paint job, like it is. I don't want to say it's too good, because I don't want your head to swell too huge, but it kind of is a little too good for tabletop. You know, I really don't know if I would spend this much time, you know, going to this kind of color depth. I'm glad you do, you know. But yeah, I don't know if I would, personally, if I would have went this far. I like it though. It's good. Yeah, you definitely. Oh, look at that guy with the purple. I like that. He's different. Oh, hot damn! He's got 3 arms. Hence the purple bits, I assume. He's more Zinchian. Zinchian? I really like this. This is fantastic. The transition through the arm is wonderful. And it really draws the eye in. You feel like his arm is just glowing with power. I'm sure you were probably tempted to paint the veins on him. I actually am okay with those veins staying as they are. I really wouldn't have, you know, given them a deeper value just to, you know, make them feel a bit more realistic. I like that they're, you know, all the same uniform color. I like the texture on the tongue. The highlighting is really fantastic. Again, you've gone through a lot of effort here. And I mean, like, I can see your effective use of like contrast and stuff, and yeah, it looks really good though. It's nice and clean. And of course, yeah, group shot of all the teams so far. TH has shown us these teams in greater detail. Do you have an Instagram, TH? Do I follow you on Instagram? I don't even know. Because I'm sure you probably have these posted somewhere, right, on the social medias. I know I think you've posted some on the Discord as well, didn't you? I like the Miami Dolphin Elves. That's fun. And the Seahawk Dark Elves. That's fun as well. It's all fun. I like it. Well, thank you, TH, for the email. Awesome stuff. Almost hit the wrong camera. The mutant, though, that's fantastic work. I love that transition through the flesh, going from that bright pink up to the rest of the body tone. I like that. And I imagine you just quickly blended that with contrast or with shade washes, right? And then you threw the highlights on. That's what I'm seeing. It looks like it was pretty straightforward. It doesn't look like you spent ridiculous amount of times on it. But yeah, very, very cool. TH, going dark blue also allows me to do chargers at some point. Yes. Yeah. You do also do the chargers as well. Well, with the chargers, I mean, like, yeah, there's a couple ways you can go with the chargers, right? Going with the light blue and the white pants with the lightning bolt yellow, with the yellow accents. You could also go with pure white with the yellow blue accents, Man, I mean, yeah, you can do the color rush, you can do their away, do their standard, right? There's a whole bunch of ways to go about it. Oh yeah, I'm painting angry dolls on IG. On Instagram, you're painting angry dolls? Yeah. I don't know if I follow you on Instagram. I thought I probably did, but because I thought I've seen your models show up on Instagram once or twice. Let's do another email. This one is from... sorry, I'm clicking the wrong buttons here. This one is from Fire Drake. Hello, Kris and monkeys. Just to show you I haven't been slacking on my off time, I thought I'd show you some Marvel Crisis Protocol I've been working on. These are not finished because I need to touch up and complete some spots. I used some contrast paints for leather, but only Wong and Baron Zemo are barely painted with contrast. Look forward to any tips, opinions, thoughts. Thanks in advance. Fire Drake 18. And so here we have wow, this is Kingpin. Jeez Louise. I assume this is Kingpin. Looks like Kingpin. I like him. Ha, Punisher. I like the comic book highlighting. I mean, as far as any kind of... Are you doing a pre-shade? Is that what you're doing? Is that what I'm seeing? You're doing, and then you're using the contrast on top? Ah, okay. I think I get what you're doing. If you're doing a pre-shade and you're using contrast and stuff, I highly recommend not starting at black and building up to your white for your pre-shade. Or your zenithal, whatever the hell term you want to use. I would, if you're going to use contrast, I would recommend you start off with a mid-toned gray, and build up to your white or off-white, whatever, and then lay contrast down. I think you might find your results a little better rather than pushing all the way to black. This guy looks really good. I like the vibrancy on this guy. I don't know who this guy is, but he looks good. Yeah, I'm suspecting you're pre-shading. You're doing as a hat Bane. That's fun. Is that Bane? No, that's not Bane. Bane's DC. This ain't DC. Who is this dude? In a recent video, patrons have access to right now, I demonstrate you just really quickly, doing pre-shades on a model. With an airbrush, of course. It can be done by regular brush, but it's a little bit more work, and really not worth it if you don't have an airbrush. Really, you can also do it by spray can as well. I like this guy. He looks good. Do I have any bits of advice? Sorry, I was lost at looking at the models and such, and I was just like, if you're getting them ready for tabletop, they look good. Yeah, they're fine. If you were looking to push painting a little further, then yeah, I mean, we could have a different discussion on a model, right? But I mean, as far as like what I was seeing there, I mean, like. I think realistically, if you were looking to get like a large collection of these things done, I think getting your pre-shade down a little bit tighter and a little bit more controlled. But yeah, But otherwise, yeah, it looked fine. There was nothing wrong. I like, again, like I said, like if we're gonna look at one particular model, but I mean, I'm seeing like the same treatment across them all. So really, it really does begin in the prep and applying that pre-shade. And if you're going with contrasts, don't work from a black. Start at a mid-tone gray and build up to the white. Don't go all the way down from a black and build all the way up, right? Just because contrast pushes really dark when it builds up into recesses, and especially if you are, which is why they recommend using like Spirit Seer or no Gray Seer. Gray Seer, it has has a slight blue tinge to it. It's a very cool kind of gray, and that one works really great with the cool colors and the blacks and stuff like that. And because again, it already has those cooler tones. Whereas if you start off with say Wraithbone, can't remember what the hell that color is called, but that's a warmer off-white and has more yellows and oranges to it, right? Slightly. And that one works really great with the warm tones. And so when you work with the mid-tone, any colors that should be warmer, you kind of struggle at. And any colors that should be cooler can be kind of a bit of a struggle, right? So that's why, like, when you push all the way to a black and you want something to be kind of warm and bright, it doesn't work. It ends up looking kind of muddy, and, you know, you got to be a little bit careful with that one. But again, that's not just contrast paints. That's any paints you're using in the similar fashion as contrast. So if you're doing a pre-shade and you want to quickly work through a batch of models, because you're getting them ready for gaming, you know, you're just using transparencies is the best way, because you've already accomplished all your highlights and your shadows doing your pre-shade, and you just lay a clear color on top, and, you know, bang, you're off to the races, right? So, yeah. The troll was super fast to do, mostly just dry brushing and glaze washing. Yeah, that's what I was seeing there. I'm looking at it, and fantastic job. I really like the transition you built through. That was excellent. James of Kent, I never liked Daredevil, but that is a great mini. Yeah, the Daredevil mini was really good. He was nice and vibrant, and it's a really kind of dynamic pose, which again is why we'll go back. We'll jump back to that. There we go. So, which is why it looks like a pre-shade he's doing on there, because you can see kind of this kind of speckly tone, and yeah, you see like on the whip, I can see like a little bit of speckling, and that's why I'm assuming he's doing a pre-shade on him, and which is why he's using clear colors and contrasts, because you want to utilize the pre-shade, right? But again, the biggest thing I would recommend with your pre-shade is don't go all the way to a black. Start off with a light tone, especially if you're using predominantly contrasts. Yeah, you want to stay a little bit lighter than that. You'll just have an easier time, because the contrasts do push pretty dark into the recesses. Sorry, I'm just getting next email ready. What time are we at? Holy cremolies. Got 22 minutes left of the show. 22 minutes. Let's do another email, because we can and we shall. This is from Jonathan. Okay. Did the first email? Oh, no. Okay. You probably forgot to send pics in the last email. Is that what it is? Hi, Kris. A bit of late email this week, but oh well. About a couple weeks ago, after partying with some flatmates, I decided that I'd take advantage of my semi-drunken state. Oh, I guess there's more to that email. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it's not showing your email. No, it's good. All right. Semi-drunken state, and see what would happen if I did a bit of painting. I have to say it turned out fairly well. I was smart enough not to take the model all the way, so it's just had a base of lead belcher, some details in warpstone glow and wraithbone, and a wash of Nuln oil. It does need a bit of touch up, but I'm quite pleased with my ability to stay within the lines, all things considered. As usual, all CNC is appreciated, and sorry for bad pick quality. Best regards, Jonathan Willis, aka, oh man, all sorts of AKs, aka the guy painting minis that should have probably been doing work. Just realized my dumbass forgot to add pics. Here you go. So, drunken pics. As long as I'm not sending dick pics. So, here's a drone. A little blurry. It's a bit better. Yeah, we can see a bit neatness. I can see some of the green kind of falling into the silver, but that's fine. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's tabletop, right? I mean, you know, you're not going to get kicked out of your gaming group for that. Yeah. Silver, yeah, actually silver looks pretty darn good. I wish the pictures were a little bit clearer so I could see them, but, you know, good job. I can't really, you know, state one way or the other, but yeah. Where the hell am I? I don't know. Aaron Seach, there he is. Howdy, Kris and Monkey Brethren. Popping by to wish everyone happy Saturday. Can't stay, gotta go car shopping with the wife. Pray for me. Alrighty, well, I'll pray. I'm praying. This is me praying. Okay, there we go. You'll survive. You'll make it. You'll make it. And hopefully you find one that is good. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Oh, hey, it's me. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Killer Whale. Stupid noob question. What is appreciating? Appreciating is like another term we use for a zenithal. Appreciate, right? Zenithal. Okay. If you're not familiar with what zenithal is, it's whenever you see people doing, they're starting off with, say, a black, and then they're typically it's done with airbrushing. It's easier with airbrushing. It's black in the dark shadows. Then there's a gray mid-tone, and then white at the very top. And it has the. Do I have a model? I do not have an example of appreciated model right here, but yeah, I don't have any examples of an appreciated model. I'm about to prepare one, but anyway, all it is you just basically lay down a black, and you can do this with spray cans. Spray cans is the second easiest way of doing it. Doing it by hand is not really. I don't really recommend it. You're better off just painting the model in a normal sense. If you have access to an airbrush, you can accomplish this fairly easy and fairly looks really good. But anyway, it's just a way. A lot of painters use it to establish where light falls on a miniature. So, for example, basically what you're doing is you're imitating light. When we highlight models, we're often imitating light, but we're often doing it in a stylized approach. Those who want to come at it with a bit more of a realistic approach, the way light would fall on a model, they often are doing a pre-shade. And so basically what ends up happening is, say, for example, you have your miniature. He's started off in a black base or black prime. I don't really recommend a black prime and doing it with primers because you can end up, laying a lot of paint onto the model. But anyway, it starts off, he's entirely black. And then at a 45-degree angle, you lay a mid-tone gray onto the model. Now, when I'm saying a mid-tone gray, it's obviously mid-tone. It's midway between black and white. If you took black and you took white and you equal parts and you mix them, you should end up at a mid-tone gray, right? That's what I'm talking about. So you have your model and a 45-degree angle and you're spraying. So what that initially does is it lays more gray on a majority of the surface, but all the undersides where it's still black, where shadow would fall, that is what you were looking for. So then you come in with your white color. The white gets applied straight down at the model, typically representing light being the light sourcing, the zenithal, right? Light representing at the highest point, the zenith. It's coming straight down at the model. And so what that ends up doing is giving you bright points at the high points of a surface, giving you your midtones on a majority of the surface, and then in the shadows it leaves black, right? So if you are using contrast paints to achieve a similar result like that, I often recommend going only to a mid-tone gray up to a white. So start at the mid-tone gray and build up to white, because the contrast goes very, very dark very, very quickly. And when you go black, it just gets lost in the color, and it's no point. And yeah, but oftentimes people do this because either one, they're using it more like a guide, so they're still using opaque colors, opaque being, light does not easily pass through the paint, and they're just using it as a guide to where shadows fall, because some points, realistically, if the light source was above a person and the foot is underneath the body kind of thing, they're stepping forward, that kind of thing, and that would be all dark. Well, that's how they do it, is because they're using it as a reference for their light sourcing, where they want how they want the light to play on the surface, right? So that's often what they do. A lot of painters. The other way, which I find is more efficient way of using it, especially if you're painting it for even display or tabletop standards, and you're going to go with this route, it's a great way to get realistic looking models with a realistic kind of highlighting on them, is to use the pre-shade or zenithal pre-shade, whatever term you want to use. There's often interchangeable. use that in that regard and use a transparent color, a color that is completely transparent, at the very minimum translucent, which is a little bit of light passes through it. And that allows those tones, the white to the black with the grays in the middle, to shine through that color. And it gives you the bright color, the mid-tone color, and the shadowed color, right? So if you lay down a red on top of that white to black, you get light red, mid-tone red, and dark red, right? That, in theory, is what you're getting. You can still clean it up afterwards, and it's just a great way of quickly getting through a model, especially if you have a whole bunch. Right? So doing, say, for example, you were doing Space Marines. You could throw a pre-shade on those Space Marines, have a whole squad of them, and then take a clear color and lay it on top of it, and it'd give you all your varying tones. And you'll see many, many artists out there who do it that way. It's just a great way to get to a good-looking tabletop. Again, some painters use it as a guide for how they're going to lay their highlights down. It has many, many uses. There's many ways to use it. Just like just about everything in miniature painting, in art, there's many ways to an end result. And again, it's just one tool in the toolbox that can get you a good looking result on your miniatures. So hopefully, I don't remember who asked me that. Killer Whale? Killer Whale. So hopefully Killer Whale, that answers your question. James, no such thing as stupid questions. No, there is no such thing as stupid questions. I'm a firm believer in no stupid questions. Killer Whale. Also, I've discovered that I love tinting to push the gray coat of my dude just barely into Inky by Darkness. Yeah. Oh yeah. Inky by Darkness, one of my favorite colors to work with. It's one of my favorite ways of highlighting black. Inky by Darkness is fantastic. It's because it's a dark turquoise color. It's dark. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Yeah, I was in the Discord voice chat for a while when I was painting that drone. It was like 3 a.m. LOL. Hail Hydra! Hail Hydra! Apologies if this is a dumb question, but do you do private painting lessons for brush, not airbrush, over Skype or Teams, etc.? Please, I'm looking for a great Christmas present. I do. I often offer it to my patrons, where we can get some one-on-one time and, those kind of things. But otherwise, do I do painting classes? No, I have considered doing painting classes. I was kind of doing a thing with my patrons where we were gathering like once a week or once every other week, where we would all be within the Discord. And because Discord has a really great group chat function, and so yeah, it most likely would be over Discord. If you're not familiar with Discord, check it out. And also there is a Way of the Brush Discord server. If you just go to the website, or I think in the links in this video, you'll see in the links, there's a link to the Discord. You can join us on Discord, check it out. But do I do it? Yes, I have done it in the past. Am I currently scheduled for any? No, I'm not currently scheduled for. If it's something somebody really wants, where they want like an hour or two of personal tutelage, I am available for that. So, we can work something out. Killer Whale, I love tinting to death, but I don't think my AdMech are a good choice. But I'll try pre-shading on my next project. Ex-fast food worker, corpse grinder gang. Yeah. Corpse grinder would be good. Well, any model. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the model. And in fact, when you start getting into pre-shading, it allows you to also start playing around with other effects. For example, if you were doing light sourcing, say for example, you've seen some really great models out there where, like the base is glowing and the light is shining up at the model. As long as you don't glue your model down to the base, you can easily represent that with a pre-shade, right? So you can start off with a dark color and build your midtones up on the surface. So for example, if you had Space Marines and they were like, it's lava bases or techno doodads and they're glowing up at them, right? You can have your model, start off dark, work your midtone, your 45-degree angle, your midtone up at the model, right? So his head's here, his foot's here, right? 45 up at the model, and then pure white straight up from the feet up like that, right? And then lay your clear colors on top, and then that would represent the base glowing up at the model, right? Do it from the side. Again, just observe your directions, and again, like I said, just as long as you're mindful of how you're laying it on, you can do that. It's often called zenithal because it's the high point of the light sourcing. But again, when you have an airbrush, it's very easy to achieve those things. You can do it with spray cans. Personally, I mean, it feels like you might lay a little bit heavy amount of primer down onto the model or paint onto the model. And doing it by hand, you're better off just painting in the traditional sense. You can do pre-shading by hand, but it's a lot of work for, you know, realistically, like laying a minimal amount of paint. Like, is it easier to start off dark, build up a mid-tone, put a bit of light down, and then lay a clear color if you're doing it all by hand, versus lay my base coat, lay my highlight, lay my final highlight, shade wash, right? 6 of one, half dozen of the other kind of thing. I don't know, but yeah. So, but with the airbrush, if you're, and the airbrush, like, I know some of you who might be new to this, you hear a lot about airbrushing. I say, well, I don't want to get into it. Well, because it is pricey. And it is also a new tool that you also have to become accustomed to. And if you're new to this hobby and you're still getting used to all the brush work that has to be done, and, you know, mastering brush stroke and mastering color and mastering your materials, and then you throw an airbrush into the mixture, it's more stuff you gotta, you know, learn. It can seem a little daunting and tiring and, you know, these kind of things. But if you're really serious about getting good at your miniature painting, I'm sure you'll jump right into it happily. But for some of us who maybe miniature paint, we only want to get good at miniature painting just so that we can get our armies and our gangs and our teams painted for tabletop so they look good and have fun, right? Some of us only have aspirations to go that far. Some of us want to enter competitions. Some of us are, you know, just, I don't know, want to get the stuff done, right? And, you know, all of it is valid. All of it, there's, you know, no bad. It's you know, it's not good or bad one way or the other. You know, it's just, we all have our end goals in mind, and, you know, that's good, really. Can't quite remember where I was going with all that, but anyway. Daniel Pagey. Hi all. Just wondering, does anyone have any ideas on what to use for pin washing? Well, typically when we describe pin washing, we're talking about using an oil wash. We're taking oil paint, adding thinner to it, and then applying it to a model surface. Now, typically, when doing pin washing, you want to have a gloss coat on that surface. Not heavy, but a decent coverage of gloss on top, because that changes the surface tension of the model. Then you take that oil paint, okay? It doesn't have to be expensive oil paint. It can be dollar store type stuff. I don't know if dollar stores sell oil paint, but anyway, take oil paint. You want to use a non-volatile type of thinner for oil paint, which is typically mineral spirits. A bit of that to thin the paint down to an ink-like consistency, and then you just simply touch the surface, and it does what the shade washes do. If you're familiar with like the GW shade washes, where it just falls within the recesses and barely tints the surface, it will do exactly the same thing. So you can do pin washing with, say, acrylic shade washes. It's a similar type of technique. It gives you the similar type of results, which is probably why Games Workshop and other companies produce products that do that same kind of effect. Because pin washing comes from scale modeling. Scale modelers have been pin washing for ages. Excuse me. And, you know, that's just the name of the technique. It's just pin washing, because it's you can apply that wash. It falls within the lines of the model, right? Because you imagine like tanks and airplanes where they apply that pin wash. It falls in the panel lines, goes around the rivets. You know what I mean? That's why it was done. Then, of course, they take a mineral spirit or even alcohol, and on a Q-tip or, you know, whatever, and they wipe that surface either after it's dried or, you know, before it has dried. I personally, oftentimes, whenever I'm using oil paint, I often do it before the paint has dried. I'll wipe the excess away so it gives you those shadow points in between, right? But acrylic shade washes do pretty much the same kind of thing. So do you need to get into pin washing? Not really. Also, there's another product, MIG Ammo. They have, basically, they look like mascara. They look like those kind of containers where they have like a little brush on the end, but it's oil paint thinned out, and you can use like a little brush, and you just have, and they come in like long cylinders. They look like mascara, but I'm going to say they're not. But And it's oil paint, and you can just apply it like that on a model surface and just quickly wipe it away, and it allows you to be very controlled and deliberate in it. But yeah, I mean, what to use for pin washing? Typically, pin washing, when we're talking about pin washing, it's done with oil paints. Do you need to pin wash your models? If you want, go ahead. But if you're already used to using shade washes, like you're using GW shade washes and you're applying it on your miniatures, you are pretty much already pin washing your models. That's really what pin washing is. It's the same thing. It's just a different name. Because again, pin washing comes from the scale modeling world, and they've been doing it for decades upon decades. Killer Whale, Mr. Nugget Sausage Co. We serve everyone. All right. James Kent, Incubi Darkness is the best GW color. Is it the best? It's good. Now, mind you, I have not tried Corvus Black. Corvus Black? Yeah, I think it's Corvus Black. I thought it was a new Abaddon Black, but apparently Abaddon Black is still existent, and it's black, right? Corvus Black being a slightly dark, it's like between Incubi and Abaddon, apparently. I have not tried Corvus Black. Maybe I'll go pick up a bottle today. I'll see if I can get my hands on some Corvus Black. But anyway, yeah. Discord is probably the least toxic community on the whole internet. I don't know. I mean, there's some Discords that apparently are very toxic, so I don't know. Hail Hydra with the super chat. Thank you, Hail Hydra. Thanks, man. We'll be in touch. Yeah, go ahead. Send me an email, chris@wayofthebrush.com, if you want to try, set something up, or if you want to, simply set it up on the Discord, or Patreon, if you want to just, whatever. Again, send me a message. We'll work it out. Daniel Pagey, just trying to find a quicker way to recess shading is all. Pin washing, sure. Because pin washing, typically the way pin washing is, like when we use a shade wash, typically what we're doing is we're applying it over the entire model and letting it dry, right? That's typically how we shade wash. Whereas pin washing, it has that removal step. So, basically, if you're doing, let's say we're doing Space Marines, because again, typically we're doing Space Marines, you have the base color down on the model, and you want to do a pin wash. And so basically you lay a gloss onto the model. Okay, now I highly recommend gloss. Typically when we're talking pin washing, it is a gloss that we lay down onto the surface of the model. You don't want to do this technique without having provided a varnish layer, because again, because this process has a removal step, if you don't varnish, you can end up removing that paint. That's why we have that varnish step between it. So base coat, varnish, I recommend gloss. Oftentimes when we're talking about this process, it is a gloss varnish we are laying down, because again, we're looking for that surface tension. Matte does not have that surface tension. The paint will often spread out like normal. And if you end up with a matte that is kind of semi-gloss, or doesn't dry like typical matte, then, or you end up laying too much of it down, is what I'm saying, and it'll just, again, you're just kind of messing things up at that point. But anyway, you lay the gloss down, pin wash, you can let it dry, or you can wipe it away at the time. If you're wiping it away while it's still wet, you don't need to have mineral spirits on your whatever you're wiping away, because the mineral spirits are already in the paint, because that's how you thin the paint down to ink-like consistency, right? And you apply it over the model, and you just quickly, with a paper towel, Q-tip, whatever it is you need, and you just wipe that surface. Oops, jeez, I'm getting excited here. You wipe that surface, and you're left with that black, and sometimes you get the streaks, and you know what I mean? Like, it gives you all sorts of effects, which is why it's very popular. If you wait for it to dry, then you got to come in either with mineral spirits or with rubbing alcohol, and then you simply just very gently wipe that surface. Again, if you did not have that varnish layer and you just had the oil paint sitting on top of your paint job, that mineral spirits or iso alcohol will pull that paint layer and it'll pull right to the plastic or metal or whatever that surface is, the model surface. So that's pin washing. It has that removal step in it. Typically, when we're talking about pin washing, it has that removal step. But that's why you got to varnish it, pin wash, then remove. Does that make sense? Who asked that initially? Oh, Daniel Pagey. Yeah. So, is it quicker? I don't know. Again, it's relatively subjective, because recess shading. Typically, when we talk about recess shading, you're being very deliberate. Like, imagine a Space Marine, and you have the shoulder pad. When we're talking about recess shading, you're taking that shade wash. You're taking a little bit of that shade wash and applying it into the cracks and crevices of an area, right? So, like on a shoulder pad, you're following the edge of that trim. On the helmet, you're going into the eyes and the mask and the tubes and the little doodads around the helmet. You're just following those areas. That's the recess shade. Applying a shade wash is where you're just applying it right over the model and letting the chips fall where they may. You have really no control. And that's why oftentimes I recommend people to get out of that habit of just applying a shade wash and relying on a shade wash to provide all your shadows and midtones, right? That's why I often suggest to get out of that habit and use the shade washes more like a clear value, so that you can simply push a value downwards. So you're not applying it over the entirety. You're being very deliberate and using it to build up to your gradients, right? But that's as you advance as a painter and you want to get more control over your effects and things like that. If you're brand new to this hobby, by all means, don't feel bad about applying it right over the entirety of the model. That's fine. Everybody does that. In fact, I still do it. So, it's a means to an end, and it's really where do you want to take your model, right? So, yeah. James Kent, I meant the Way of the Brush Discord, really supportive about painting. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes, I fully encourage the Way of the Brush Discord. We try and keep it friendly there, and, I try to make I'm trying to make it a good place. And really, I don't have to do much because everybody's pretty darn good. Everybody's adults for the most part. There's a few young people in the group. I don't know the ages of everybody. I don't have everybody's bios. Geez Louise. Yeah, see, Frantic just joined. And, I just try to keep it a safe place. Free of evil. No, of, just people being dicks. That's the only rule. Just don't be a dick, right? I allow all sorts of discussions. We have many channels for discussing whatever kind of craziness we want. Mind you, we don't talk about anything, too adult, like adult content, right? Although, swearing and stuff like that is fine. Again, it's kind of like this. It's as long as it's not too gratuitous, right? Not just sitting out here going, dicky fart and pussy, and, like just, whatever, right? Not as long as it's not gratuitous. Anyway. Where am I? Frantic. Hi, Kris. Hi, chat. Hope you're all doing well. Hi, Frantic. Bayushi242. Quick question. Do your hoodies ship to Europe? As far as I understand, the shipping is worldwide. So, yes. And if you're considering picking up a hoodie, awesome. Thank you. And send a pic. Again, I encourage everybody who's purchased it. And I've seen people buying shirts and stuff like that. And, people are still buying stuff. And nobody's sending me pics. And I'm like, what the F? WTF? WTF, send me a pic so I can add it to the Monkey Shrine. Because basically, when you add it to the Monkey Shrine, the next time I get around to doing a new Way of the Brush intro, I'll most likely incorporate those images. Just like the current intro is, I'll do that. So, yeah. But anyway. I think we have one more email. Yes, we have one more email. Holy camolies, we're already 4 minutes over time. Another email. This one is from our good buddy No Fucks. These are still work in progress, but have been coming along well. I made these mostly from suppressor models. Maybe someday GW will let us have melee focus primaris jump infantry. That's not limited to Kavan Shrike. I need a good suggestion for a really dark black for lining on these guys. Null Oil, Black Templars, and Black Army Painter Wash hasn't helped much. I may just try oils. You're not the one just asking about the oils, were you? No, that was somebody else. The Meme Marine was a challenge from a friend. Look up Major Kill for combat footage and lore on this chapter. Okay. And so, you're looking for a good black. Is that the way I interpreted that question? No, you're using Black Templar and Null Oil. Now, typically with the Black Templar, it goes on the model really, really well. Hopefully you're using like you can apply it on top of a white. It covers very well on top of a white. But if you use like a gray and then lay the Black Templar down, it should work really well. Especially if you go with like something even just a shade darker than, what do they recommend? Gray Seer? If you go with the Gray Seer, Black Templar and Gray Seer, it works really well. It'll give you your highlights as well as your deep tones underneath and gives you a nice even black, essentially. Well, it gives you a dark gray, really, but gives you that impression of black on the main portions, right? It all looks really good. And then, of course, yeah, it looks like you're using non-oil to push your black tones even further. Of course, applying a second layer of Black Templar on the model will just give you an even black on the surface, in which case you might as well just go with Abaddon Black, right? Or even go with a black spray. Of course, you could also go with a black spray as your initial tone as well. Again, there's many ways to an end result. If you're going with just Black Templar, though, you can just apply, prime in a mid-tone gray and apply contrast. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're not happy with. These, as far as black is concerned, these look like black. Maybe you're not happy with how the mid-tones are. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I need a bit more. Like, what is it that you're not liking? I like the blue on the claws. That's cool. As far as laying down paint, holy shit. This guy's crazy. Wow. That's a look. I love the hair. The hair is fantastic. What freaking chapter is this guy from? Jeez Louise, these guys would scare the crap out of everybody. They're scaring the crap out of me. I like it. Oh, is that it? I kind of wanted to see what the chapter symbol is. Because it looks like there's a rainbow pattern. It looks like there might be a symbol in there. I want to see that shoulder. What's on the shoulder? I want to see. Either way, he's got a purity seal. And doesn't that mean that they have the blessing? They have the blessing of the Emperor, as it were. Was that it? Oh, that's last email. Okay. Yeah. Damn. Frantic. Pixar didn't happen. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. I really like it. Yeah, as far as, who is this? No Fucks? Yeah, as far as, like, what it is about the black that you're not happy with, I don't know, because if you go with the mid-tone gray, or even the Gray Seer is what they recommend, and then lay the Black Templar on top, it yields a really good result. I guess really is. Oh, yeah, you meant to send a picture of the shoulder pad. Yeah, that'd have been nice. Killer Whale, Clown Marines, any special rule? Triple transport capacity for everything. Yeah, in a rhino you can fit more Marines in. It's like you can fit 50 Marines in a rhino. That'd be a hilarious rule. That's hilarious. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, heading out now, gang. Got a decent number of models put together today, so I'm pretty pleased with myself. Cool, awesome. Frantic, that clown marine is epic. Good job, No Fucks. Yeah. Oh, you sent another pic, No Fucks. Okay, hold on. The meme marine. Oh, cool. Oh, here we go. All right, let's have a look. Oop, shoot, wrong pic. Okay, so there's another angle. So basically, the pic is his face. I got you. Now it's an emoji on his purity seal. Oh, it's eggplant squirting on a face. Is that what it's saying? Or is it a seltzer bottle? Is it eggplant or seltzer bottle? I assumed it was eggplant. I think it is an eggplant. It's an eggplant squirting on a face. Zap. Pow. Zap. I'm getting tired. That's too funny. As far as being a Marine chapter, I mean that's pretty crazy. But yeah. Check out Major Kill 40k Lord channel. This is his custom chapter and it's hilarious. Yeah, it sounds like fun. Yes, eggplant, squirter, and face. Okay. James Kent, I will be listening to the Insane Clown Posse for the rest of the week. Not sure why. Yeah, I don't know why either. That's not Insane Clown Posse. Insane Clown Posse is Insane Clown Posse, and that was just yeah. Killer Whale, toxic pie grenade is war gear. Alrighty. And as promised, we are going to head over to the Instagram side of things because we can and we shall. And yeah. So actually, there aren't too many, so we should be able to get through this fairly quickly. This one here. Oh, look at this. This video. Okay. Forgot to give this a like. Brother Otis. Yeah, he was working on his... I believe he was working on this for a competition piece. Really nice work on the transitions through the armor. Yeah. Oh, he only posted this a day ago. Okay. Really nice work on the armor. Like those, the shin guards and the shoulder pads, like that transition through there is really, really good. I don't know if you needed that streak highlight through the feet or in some areas. I don't know if it needed to go to like that really bright point like that. The metal on the trim and everything like that, I think a bit more care could have went into that. A bit more color depth. It could have been a little bit more deliberate, especially since you did such a great job on that, on the armor, the main armor body. It's really good. Like on the shoulder pad, I can see that transition going on, but like on the lower legs, I think I would like to have seen a bit more of gradient there and through the metal. Just to push that idea. In fact, on the metal, like on the details on the trim of the metal, on the leg, I think it could have went like dark in the upper points and then build to a brighter downwards. Kind of building essentially on that same direction that you've established on the armor. So the very points on the lower part by the ankle would be a bit darker and building to brighter towards the ankle kind of thing, right? But really nice job. Really nice job. Here's Disco. Disco Duke is usually his handle online. I've already given this a like. I really like it. Oh, wait. Did I? Oh, no. Okay. This was just a video. Okay. Really nice work on the cloak. I thought we were done with this model. Or is this another Eldrad you've done? Your galaxy, your work making the galaxy is far better than initially what you were doing before. Again, I think it's just one of those instances of practice makes perfect. But really, really nice work. The galaxy on the back, yeah. It's all about the galaxy. Oh yeah, here's another one. Disco Duke. He posted pictures of this on the Discord. It was work in progress, and it was before any paint was laid down. And yeah, it's really cool. Just bringing out all that texture on the model is really, really wild. What the hell is he standing on? Oh, that's a texture on the base. I guess it's for probably the hell's it, Underworlds? I don't know. I think the fire should build the other way. I think the fire should build closer to the body and get darker out towards the ends of the fingers. Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Very cool. I liked all the texture there. Oh, some asshole posted his model. What a guy. Yeah. I think the flames should build in the opposite direction. Wait, is that it? Oh. Is this Brother Otis? Yeah, I think this is a work in progress. Oh, Brother Otis changed the color of the trim. Or is this a different model? I posted this days ago. Really nice work, Brother Otis. I like this color scheme better, actually, than the silver. I know it's kind of like an Alpha Legion thing going on, but I like this bronze better. It's very, very cool. Oh, wait, did we see pictures of this? Or maybe he posted on Discord. God, I can't remember. All these places where people post stuff, and I can't remember where the hell we're all having these conversations. I don't really remember where we're having all these, where we are all having these conversations. Yeah. Yeah. Shaky Brush Minis. Doing a Blood Angel Duder. Can't remember what this. I think this is a conversion. Is it? Is this a conversion? Maybe not. Really nice work. I like the wings. Good work on keeping the highlights subtle there on the wings. Oh, I forgot to give it a like. Give it a like. Apparently I didn't give this one a like. These ones from Ave Dominus Belly. Yeah. Very cool. I feel like we've looked at this one too. Chris Dilly. Playing around with some lava a week ago. I will give it a like. Forgot to give it a like. Yeah, I think we've covered this one in an email too, or maybe on Discord or something. I don't know. Either way. But anyway, I think that was it. Because these ones here was a work in progress of that and that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't read this. I don't know what that one is. I know there's somebody else who posts to this hashtag. That it has nothing to do with miniature painting. It's them doing their brushwork and everything. But anywho, so yeah, if you want me to have a peek at your models on the Instagram and you don't feel like joining us on the Discord or don't feel like sending an email or what have you, use the hashtag #WearTheBrush, because I'm going to try and keep using or doing this kind of Instagram section of the show where we'll talk about, what we see on the Instagrams as far as being tagged #WearTheBrush, right? So if you want to share and you want to, you don't feel like joining us on other platforms, no problems. I can't remember where I was going with any of that, but anyway, yeah. James Kent, that knife as well. Brother Otis is doing good. Yeah, Brother Otis is doing really good. Yeah. No fucks. I like the green a lot. Yeah. Killer Whale, green is amazing there. Yeah, the armor, Brother Otis. Oh yeah, the transition is really fantastic. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I think we're it, right? 18 minutes. Yeah, we can end the show here, right? Right. Sorry, I'm just checking comments here. So, if you are brand new to this hobby, or you are, just looking for some help on the color scheme, you have questions about a particular technique, whatever your questions are, I'm open to any and all questions. Again, I do this show because it's all about helping you guys. Usually we devolve into other crazy topics, but as long as we can keep the conversation rolling about helping you guys, well, then this is usually a fairly productive show. I think today was actually a pretty productive one rather than the usual nonsense this show devolves into. But anywho, send your questions, your emails. Send me your huddle masses to Kris@wavethebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to wavethebrush.com. Central hub of all the cinemas has links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. And of course, you also has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like connoisseur of all that's good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way the Brush t-shirt. And if you've purchased yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt. And I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also wavetheBrush.com. Speaking too fast now. I also find a link for Patreon. Want to help this channel grow, become better, and I do have goals and stuff like that as far as Patreon when we reach certain levels, so check that out. I have varying tiers of support. Click whatever makes sense to you, and huge thank you to everybody who does currently support by Patreon. Huge thank you. Wouldn't have made it this far without you, and hopefully with more of you joining the I don't know, what is a group of monkeys called? What's a group of monkeys? It's not a herd. It's not a pack. What is a group of monkeys called? Pod? No, that's whales. What is somebody, come on, somebody much smarter than me. What is a group of monkeys called? That's what we'll call this thing. I don't know, whatever this is. Anywho. Huge thank you to everybody who does. And if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing the video, all of that helps the channel a great deal as well. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. Big thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfair, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. You love yourself some beer. You love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for creating email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. So always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. Always much love to my baby bro Evan. And if you're into rare comics or comics in general, check him out, ebcomics.com. It's in the description below. And, he might have what you're looking for. No fucks given. Barrel of Monkeys. Is it a barrel of monkeys? Evan Belleau says troop. It's a troop of monkeys? It's a troop? Is it troop like T-R-O-O-P or is it T-R-O-U-P-E? Like a dance troupe, right? Is it that troop? Which troop? We're splitting hairs pretty thin here around here. Splitting them mighty thin. Mighty thin. Alrighty, so did we have any other comments here? We don't have any more comments, right? No? We're good? Did we answer some questions today? I think we had a productive day, actually. Because it seemed like a lot of newer people were joining us today, and so that's really good. It's good to see. And hopefully some had their questions answered. And so for some of you out there who are like, well, what about this? Not to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but I have been in this hobby quite a while, and I have played around with a lot of things and a lot of different materials, and so I've garnered a great deal of experience, and I'm more than willing to share it with a lot of you. So, not all of you, but a lot of you. Some of you I'm not going to share my information with. Some of you, no, you guys could take a hike. Some of you, yeah. Not all of you, though. Some of you could take a walk. Go pound salt. That's awful. That's awful. Alrighty. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to go have some lunch. I'll see you guys later. Again, keep them emails rolling. I will see you guys later. No matter what occurs, I will find you. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys laters. Laters? Laters. Maybe.